McLaren just had a horrible weekend in the 2025 Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Lando Norris started P7, finished P7 in a race where his championship rival teammate DNF'd, failed to capitalize on anything. And in this situation, what's more funny is the delusion in which not only Norris and Piastri, but also McLaren as a team, their delusion, their ability to stay away from the truth and find peace in excuses always baffles me, and that's the most entertaining part. So we'll talk about it. So we'll talk about what Lando Norris has said about his very, very subpar performance. We will talk about the excuse that Oscar Piastri gave for crashing in turn one, and then we will talk about Andrea Stella, who also decided to open his mouth and say a bunch of dumb shit. So we'll talk about that. And then overall, we will discuss the broader implications in the 2025 Driver Championship fight, which seems to be spicing up finally, right? So we will start with Lando Norris. No, not Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri. And then we will go to Lando Norris, and then we will go to Andrea Stella, ending the video by discussing about the championship situation. So Oscar Piastri, right? From the start of the weekend, he was a step behind Norris. And in the practice session, he was consistent, and by consistent, I mean he was consistently flirting with danger. He was consistently touching the barriers here and there, banging the wheels here and there. And I was watching all of this shit transpire in front of me, and I'm thinking Oscar Piastri should take a step back this weekend. This is not his weekend. The car, the track, the conditions, whatever it is, it's making it difficult for Piastri to find a good lap time. The best he can do is keep it clean and damage limitation, right? He still has 31 points lead over Lando Norris in the championship fight. Max Verstappen is way too back. Things are still good. All you need to do is not fuck it up. However, Piastri decides to test himself, and he vastly overestimates his skills as a driver in the changing weather conditions. I'm talking about the wind speed and direction. He overestimates himself, and he doesn't learn anything from the 3 practice sessions in which he consistently flirted with danger, puts it in the wall, gets DNF'd, causes a red flag in the qualifying session, maximum damage done. It is what it is. Then the race begins. At the start of the race, he starts, P10. He starts P10, and he jumps the start, then realizes that he jumped the start, stops the car momentarily, goes to anti-stall, goes all the way back to P18 or P19, or I think he was literally at the back of the grid. I think he was P18. And then a few corners later, I think in turn 5, he was in the barriers. And when he hit the barriers, he locked up. He thought that he will be able to go around the outside and make the overtake on whoever it was in front of him. I think it was a Haas that was in front of him. Unfortunately, he misjudged it, carried too much speed into turn 5, locked up, and found the barriers. When he said to the interviewers, "I didn't anticipate the dirty air the way I should have," this kind of made me laugh, because it's not the dirty air, buddy. You made the mistake of, going into the corner way too fast. And he says it in the very next line. I clearly went into the corner way too hard, and that was that. But the thing is, like, the way he is coping with this sentence, and I know that we shouldn't go ahead and read too much into it, but it's just funny not to. And this is the first delusion that the McLaren team has about their dogshit performance in the 2025 Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Oscar Piastri blaming dirty air for the DNF. It was not the dirty air for DNF. You fucked up in the qualifying, you fucked up at the race start, you were in the back of the grid, and you wanted to make some places up. You wanted to make some positions up. And that desperation, you wanted to go all the way around the outside of a Haas in cold tires at the race start in Baku, where the walls are closer. There's literally very few runoff areas. There's 0 gravel traps, nothing like that. In turn 5, around a Haas, you wanted to do that, and like after that, you blame it on dirty air. I mean, obviously, there are a bunch of other statements in which where he is saying that I am taking the responsibility and all that type of shit, but he just got too desperate to cause the crash. It is what it is. Then we talk about Lando Norris, the biggest delusional guy in Formula One. What he says is that it's not a missed opportunity. He says that it's not a missed opportunity, and it is a missed opportunity in every way you look at it. First, it's a missed opportunity because Baku is a circuit where you should have been fast, and you were fast. They did have pace. Obviously, Ferrari and everybody else also looked a little bit competitive, and Max Verstappen, you cannot ever count it out. But to say that these motherfuckers were not fast and didn't deserve to fight and be in the top 5, definitely in the podium positions, is an understatement. That's the first thing. The second reason why this is a missed opportunity is because this is a race in which your championship rival crashed out in qualifying. All you have to do is not fuck it up and make it a clean lap and qualify as high as possible. There also he fucked it up. If you look at Lando Norris's onboard in the qualifying section, he hits the barrier, I think both his front right and rear right, in turn 15 barriers. So there he lost a bunch of time. And I think he easily could have been like P5 or qualified P4 even. But because of that mistake, because he got even too desperate to go ahead and, seize a better position on the starting grid, he ended up going behind and he lined up P7 on the grid. That's the second reason why this is a missed opportunity. The third reason why this is a missed opportunity is because of the race start. Lando Norris, and this is something that you all know, Lando Norris loves to lose position at the start of the race, and this time he lost a position to Isaac Hadjar. So that is that. As if that was not enough, and the fourth reason why this is a missed opportunity is because at the safety car restart triggered by Oscar Piastri's crashing, Oscar Piastri crashed and then there was a safety car, and in the safety car restart, Lando Norris loses yet another place. And this is also something Lando Norris loves to do. Every time a race begins or resumes, red flag condition, safety car, rolling start, doesn't matter. This motherfucker always going to be losing positions. We saw that in 2024 Brazil. Every time the race began, Lando Norris lost positions. So Baku 2025 was no exception, and Lando Norris lost a position again in the safety car restart. I have this video. I'm going to mute it for various copyright reasons. Let me just see if you guys can see it though. Okay, you guys can see it. So I'll just go ahead and play this video and see that Leclerc is behind, and look at the cars ahead of Norris and look at the time. Okay, so they are gone. The cars ahead of Norris are gone. Norris reacts late. This allows Charles Leclerc to, line him up properly, and just at the line, he makes the overtake and he makes it stick. You see it here because here, at the start of this video, you see all of these cars ahead of Norris. Here, they're very close to Norris, and see that now they are going and now they're gone, and Norris is just reacting to them now. So this is another missed opportunity in which he failed to appropriately react to the green flag conditions, losing another place to Charles Leclerc. Then the fifth reason why it is a missed opportunity, and yes, it is a missed opportunity, fifth reason now, is the slow pit stop, this slow pit stop. Because of the slow pit stop, he lost 2 positions. He got out in the middle of a DRS train, and obviously you cannot overtake much. In Baku, that was the story of the race. It doesn't matter the car's pace advantage unless it's like a significantly high straight line speed advantage, then you really can't make an impression. Unless you have like 1.5 seconds at least of a pace advantage on the car in front, you cannot overtake. And if you're stuck in a DRS train, and Liam Lawson, drove phenomenally, and behind him was Yuki Tsunoda, who has unlocked a lot of performance and confidence in that Red Bull. So, literally, there was no chance. So, this is the delusion of Lando Norris, that it's not a missed opportunity. And then we move on to the delusion of the team boss, Andrea Stella. Let's see what this guy has to say. He said, "We didn't give Lando a fast enough car to make it through the field, and we spent all day in traffic." Okay, way to go. The pit stop itself didn't make any difference because we would have ended up pretty much in the area of Leclerc. For me, the most important takeaway was that the car wasn't fast enough. This is absolutely bullshit. First, I mean, somebody has commented here, the pit stop is the reason he is 7th, not 5th. So this is the first part of the delusion here. The pit stop itself wouldn't have made any difference. Another big delusion is the car wasn't fast enough. Bro, you guys were fast in the practice sessions. The car had pace. It's just that your drivers are incapable of dealing with the changing weather conditions. And that's something you have to accept. When things are stable, clean, and predictable, and you can just, the only variable are the parameters of the car, then McLaren drivers are good. If the environment is stable, only variable are the car settings, then McLaren drivers keep on improving through the weekend. But if the environment is unpredictable with the wind speed, as we found out in Baku, and in 2024 Brazil, as we found out in the raining conditions, when the weather becomes unpredictable, these motherfuckers are fucked. They don't have that, I would say, racing acumen in order to deal dynamically with the changing conditions. So Andrea Stella continuing to feed to the delusion of the drivers, should I say. Lando Norris is the favorite. Oscar Piastri is kind of like, I mean, they have to run 2 cars, but unfortunately for McLaren, he is now the championship leader. It is what it is. But this is really absolutely delusional in multiple stages from Andrea Stella, which is disgusting to say the least. This shouldn't be happening. So in conclusion, Oscar Piastri, the championship leader, blaming the dirty air for his crash on lap 1. Lando Norris insisting that this is not a missed opportunity, but it clearly is, as because we have eyes and we have, we have minds and brains too. Anyone with an IQ over, I would say, 75 can know and say that this was a missed opportunity. When your championship rival is out in lap 1, when your championship rival has a bad qualifying, you couldn't capitalize, and when he had a horrible race, you still couldn't capitalize. And then the team boss comes out and says the car wasn't fast enough and that was our fault. And let's talk a little bit about the driver standings, because right now it seems like Max Verstappen can win this thing. And now I know that this is too delusional to say at this point, but a couple of race weekends ago, Verstappen was 109 points behind the championship leader. Now it's 69 points. Nice. And if there's one guy who can make it up, it's Max Verstappen. One more bad weekend for Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. Maybe they take each other out. Max Verstappen wins by 20 seconds from George Russell. Isaac Hadjar P3 again. It'll be awesome. The point I'm trying to make is it's not over yet, and there are still 7 races to go, a couple of sprint races. Max Verstappen can definitely back P2 in the constructor standings. The driver standings. He definitely can beat Lando Norris. Lando Norris is beatable because before Monza, where Max Verstappen won by, I think, 19 seconds, Helmut Marko said that, things are improving. Lauren Mekies, with his technical expertise, is taking the car in the right direction. And in Monza, they had this amazing result. And in Baku, they had this amazing result. These were the 2 tracks where the Red Bull generally struggles. And they won by pure pace. Like, no one was troubling Verstappen at all. I mean, granted, he was, the McLaren were stuck in traffic and the Ferraris were stuck in traffic. I kind of wanted to see their real pace, but it is what it is. But they won in tracks that they traditionally struggled at least in the recent years. And now they're dominating those tracks. So it's certainly possible that in the future, Singapore is going to be a make or break track. If Max Verstappen is even fighting for the top position in the podium, if Max Verstappen fights for the win in Singapore, then I think he certainly can go ahead and bag the championship, because under pressure, this is a factor that not a lot of people are considering, that under pressure, Norris and Piastri are going to make mistakes. Norris, 100%, he will make mistakes under pressure, and Piastri will make mistakes too. Max Verstappen is the kind of guy who brings in the pressure because he has nothing to lose. He's already way behind. And any win that comes in is just a bonus for him. And if he wins the World Championship this time, Zach Brown needs to go ahead and take a hard look at his driver lineup and go ahead and find better drivers who can handle this type of pressure and dominate race weekends when the car is certainly a piece of art. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.